Hello there, and welcome to this week's draw with me. I hope you are ready to do some drawing. And let me tell you right from the outset what you're going to need. We're going to need three colored pencils, the three primary colors, so blue and yellow and red. So go and get those, get your sketchbook, and then come back here and we're going to do some drawing. And I will, meanwhile, kill a little time while you get that. Oh, and as Helen has suggested, a bag of Maltesers. Excellent idea. So, unfortunately, I don't have any. All I have is a Spartan glass of water. But I do have a friend waiting in the wings, and I'll tell you all about her in a minute, because she's going to join us and draw with us live, and I think you're going to be pretty excited about that. So who is here so far? Just not a lot of people yet. Helen is here, and Sarah, and Juta. I haven't seen you for a while, Juta, so I'm glad to see you here. Amaris and Eliza, Julie, also from Germany, Na from the Grand Canyon, Roseanne, Murderfly, my old pal. I'm glad that you could be here this week. Roseanne, Michelle, Courtney M. Gisele, Diana, and Cheryl Andre checking in from Maine, Carrie Reed from Ireland, and Dina McIntosh from Oklahoma City. So, and Debbie. Good. Well, excellent. I'm glad that you're all here. And now I'm going to bring on my friend. So my friend is Katya Peshanskaya, who is going to join us, if you can believe it, from Siberia. I don't mean that in any kind of metaphoric way. I mean, quite literally, she's coming to us from Siberia. Hi, Katya.
Hi.
Thanks
Hi.
so thanks so much for joining me here. Now it's very late in
Yes,
Siberia.
it's 11 p.m., so it's quite dark now. So yeah,
It's
but it's
dark.
okay.
It's dark. So what's the weather like in Siberia right now?
It's almost 30. Um,
So that's fairly warm for
s-
Siberia.
yes, it's really warm. So yeah, it's more warm than in Amsterdam where I live now. Yes, but I came to Siberia to visit my relatives and friends, so that's why I'm here, and yeah, it's good.
Excellent. Good. Well, so you live in Amsterdam normally.
Yes, I moved to Amsterdam last year in July because of my husband's work. That's why my last name is not Pishanskaya because it was my last name is Tihova. So
Tihova, of
yes,
course, right.
Tihova. Yes,
That is your married name, right? Exactly.
yes, I married him. That's why
Right.
yeah, I changed my name.
So Katya, you are part of our new class at Sketchbook School, colored pencil class, and
Yes.
so you people aren't familiar with your work yet at Sketchbook School unless they are fans of yours on Instagram, as we are. That's how we first came to talk to you about it because we love the way that you draw. You're an illustrator. Tell us a bit about the sorts of things that you like to draw as part of your illustration. What kinds of things do you
Um,
draw?
I really like to draw people because people always tell me some interesting stories. It's really interesting to look at them, to imagine some backgrounds, even if you don't know them. For example, in cafes, on the streets, and theaters, and in different public places. So that's why I really like to draw people. And also, I like to draw different characters, so animals. It doesn't mean that they should look real, like in real life, like, I don't know, like a portrait, for example. That's why I like to create characters, like in children books or cartoons. So that's my passion. So yeah.
And so you like to tell stories. You like to make up stories and create characters and stories, I guess, then too.
Yes, yes, yes.
So we're going to use colored pencils today because the class that we're about to start on Monday at Sketchbook School is called Colored Pencils Sharpen Your Skills. And colored pencils are an interesting thing because we all learned to use colored pencils when we were little, right? That's one of the first things we learned
Yes.
to draw with. And I think as artists, we don't necessarily think of colored pencils a lot of times as a medium compared to watercolors or oil paints or those kinds of things. But you use colored pencils a lot in your
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. I really like this tool because it helps me to draw in each moment I want because it's really easy to take them. And also, it makes my works bright, vivid, colorful. And also, I don't like, some dirty tools such as paint, oil, or acrylic. So that's why I use colored pencils.
very clean. They are clean. It's true.
Yes, they're clean.
They're clean. It's true. Well, that's good. So in this class that you have done for us, you use lots of different techniques of using colored
Hmm.
pencils, different ways, because the way that we learned to use colored pencils when we were little, and most people never really learned, right? They just give you some colored pencils and you can start coloring with them. But there's lots of techniques for using colored pencils, ways of getting tone,
Yes.
of mixing colors, and that sort of thing.
Hatchings. Yeah,
Hatching,
hatching also. Yeah. Yeah.
blending, those sorts of things.
Blending.
Right. So, and that's a lot of what you're talking about in this class. You're showing us examples of how you do those kinds of things. And so, one of
Hmm.
the things that you do, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun, is to just take three pencils. So, hopefully, those of you who are just joining us, we need three pencils.
And also,
You've got
yeah.
your three pencils. Excellent. So, red, yellow, and blue, those are our colors. The primary colors. So you should be able to mix any color of the rainbow using these three colors.
Yes.
Theoretically, in theory, that's what they
Let's
say.
try. In theory, yes. In
That's
theory,
what they say.
yes.
So what we're going to do today is we're both going to draw, and you guys who are watching us hopefully are going to draw too, and we're going to just do a drawing together and see what it turns out, and then we'll chat a little bit at the end. So we'll spend, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes maybe doing a drawing. The thing about colored pencil drawings, you can spend a lot of time doing them, of course. But we'll try and pace ourselves and do it at a pretty fast speed. And I thought it would be fun to draw a dog, just because I like drawing dogs and you like drawing animals. So let's just all draw a dog. Make up whatever
Okay.
dog you want, or if you have a particular dog in your house that you want to draw, um, that would be fun. To me, dogs have like a lot of personality, and I'm thinking a lot about dogs these days because I don't have a dog right now, and I've always had a dog. And last year I lost my dog, and last year you lost your dog too.
Yes,
So,
yes,
so
the same.
yeah, so we're both missing dogs, and but we have memories of dogs, and we know what they look like. So, all right, so we're going to turn our cameras around, and
Okay,
we're gonna start to
just
draw
a
dogs.
second.
Okay,
I'll
so
change. Yeah.
good. So I'm going to. So here's you, and here's me. All right. So you're turning your camera, and while you're
Mm-hmm.
doing that,
Just a
I'm now
second.
setting up my camera too,
Is it
and
okay? Yes.
that's good. Yeah, you could. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could make. Could you bring your camera any closer so we can see it a bit bigger?
Okay, I can try. Just a second.
Yeah, just so we can see close up what you're doing.
And now is okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
All right, so guys, we're all going to start to draw our dogs
Yes.
using these three colors. You can use them however you want to.
Yeah, it's easy.
Right. So, um, what was your dog's name?
Shala. Shala.
Shella. Is that a Siberian name?
No, it's just a. I don't know. I don't know the story of this name. That's my mom idea, so I don't know
Oh,
why. Because maybe she liked the sound of this name, but it doesn't mean anything. It's like Shella. I don't know why. It's really hard to explain. Yes, but my previous dog, it had name Chinggis. It's
Chinggis.
historical name of the leader of Mongolian
Wow,
warriors. Yes.
that's
So yeah, yeah.
Chinggis. Is that what you said?
Chinggis. Yes.
Chinggis. Okay.
Yes.
And
Right.
um, Now, did you have your dog, your other dog, did you have it in Amsterdam, or was it just in Siberia?
No, in Siberia.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any animals in Amsterdam yet.
How long have you been in Amsterdam?
Because 1 year I moved last July because of my husband's work, and now we live there in the capital of Netherlands. So yes, and I'm thinking about the dog, but my husband, he prefers cats, so it's a cats and dogs
Wow.
wars.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So, how does Amsterdam compare with Siberia?
um, Recently, I decided to compare to these two cities, and I realized that my city is twice bigger than Amsterdam.
No kidding,
Uh,
really?
yes, and I really like Amsterdam. So it's quite cozy, quite. It has really good infrastructure. You can ride bicycle everywhere you want. Also, the atmosphere of the city, I really like it. And also, I found friends there, so now I feel almost like at home. But in
Yeah,
Siberia, it's home. It's where is your heart? So
I understand. Hey, I just realized you're not drawing. We can't see you drawing. Are you drawing?
okay, sorry. Yes,
Yeah, let's get going
yeah,
because I'm starting to draw. You can't really see me because you're on Skype, but
yes.
I am
I'm
drawing.
going to draw a mix of two my dogs.
Excellent. In fact, I'm
And
going to set it so that you can see my drawing on Skype. Let me see if I can change the camera there. Yes.
okay.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Uh, no, I don't see you at all.
Oh, that's too bad.
But it's okay. Uh,
Oh, you don't see me at all.
anyway, I'm drawing the dog, so yeah.
Okay. Carry on with what you're doing, then don't worry about me. Um,
Yeah.
oh, I know why.
Yeah.
There we go. Now you can see it.
Oh yes, now I see. Yeah,
Okay, good.
right.
So, so,
Because I like drawing characters, and especially for children books, that's why my dog looks like this. Not nothing, nothing compared to real dog, but anyway, it's fun.
yeah, I draw. I I draw all kinds of dogs. I like to draw cartoon dogs too sometimes. Not with colored pencils though. For some reason, this seems like particularly with cross hatching and stuff like that. I feel like I need to be more realistic and to think about the textures of the fur and stuff like that. But
Yes, you can add some textures, some hairs of some
fur,
fur.
yeah, fur.
Yeah.
So what do you think about when you're drawing with these three different colors? What is your process thinking? Like for me, it's like the first thing I do is I just kind of do a general drawing of the dog, and then I'm kind of going back in and thinking about the tone and the shading. But how do you approach it?
Uh, First, I think what kind of shape it will be. So
Hmm.
in my head, and then I'm trying to sculpt. Yes, to form the dog. So I using pencils. So this is will be the form of the dog. Then
Hmm.
yes, and also I really like limited palette. So sometimes I use only two pencils, like this, for example, or yellow and blue also, because yeah, it helps you to make sketches fast and right. So and now I'm want to add some details also, like
Tell me more about what makes it fast. In other words, because you don't have to think about so many colors. Because it would seem to me that if you had lots and lots of colors, you could more quickly kind of pull out a brown pencil, pull out a green pencil, instead of having
yeah.
to kind of figure out how to make it out of all these different colors, out of these three limited colors.
For example, if you have blue and red, yes, you can mix them to create dark shade. For example, I want to add some shadow here, for
Mm-hmm.
example, or here, like this. And I can add some red, and it turns violet, but it becomes darker. So yes, I can. Sometimes I'm hatching and not blading them. So I really like then one color mixed with another color without blending. Yes, blending. Yeah,
Blending them together so you keep them
blending.
pure,
Yes,
right?
yes, like this. Like yeah. So you can see some red hatches and also some blue hatches. Yes, and like this also.
Now your pencil, are your pencils pretty soft?
Yes, I really like it's Faber-Castell Polychromos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my favorite brand. So because it helps me, it's not a watercolor pencils, normal pencils, but they're really soft and really bright, and you don't have to press really strong, to create color to make it more bright because it has a lot of pigment inside. So that's why I really like it. It's a professional line. It's not for children. It's for artists. So that's why it's really good to draw with these pencils.
So I'm using these. These are called Derwent ink tints, and
Mm-hmm.
they're also really soft and very bright colors. I mean, you can see here, like I
Yeah.
get it gets a bit. You can't really see on the camera, but it does get a bit messy. That's the one thing
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about sometimes with colored pencils in a sketchbook, is your hand can smudge it. It can be messy. Do you find that that's a
Yes,
problem for you
easy.
at all, or
Do you add any water to these pencils? So
let's
they're
just
water soluble, as I know.
they are, yeah. Here I just added some. I just dipped it. I just dipped my here. I'm just taking my water glass and dipping it in, and then I'll probably drink out of this water glass later on.
That
That way I
always
can
happens.
Well, that way you can get that colored pencil inside of you. Really, you can really have an effect on it. But yeah, when you do the um, add the water, it makes the colors much more intense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they're almost not like colored pencils in a way. They just become almost like markers or something. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yes, it's good. It's really bright. A lot
very
of
bright.
pigment inside, I think.
Yeah.
And also, when I'm draw with pencils, I'm trying to put hatches in different directions.
Hmm.
So to make the form more interesting, more volume. So, for example, I here in my dog, I'm using hatches to create fur. So, and not to make it, um,
Smooth, so it's
hard,
not smooth. Yeah.
yes, smooth.
Give it some texture. Yeah. Yeah, I think the thing about colored pencils is you can keep going back over it and working it, layering it, more and more layers, right? You can spend
Yes,
so
there are
long with it.
so many techniques. So you
Yeah.
can just cover some space, with like this, for example, or you can create the texture with hatches like this, for
Hmm.
example, and add some colors and everything you want. But yes,
Yeah, it's
we
funny. Yeah, I think colored pencils are a medium that people don't really understand well enough. I
yes,
think
I
I
think
think
also yeah.
Yeah, what do you think? Why do you think that is? Is it because we learned to use them when we were kids and we just say, I know how to use that. It's not
Yes,
really.
I think it's a stereotype. So there, because we use pencils when we were kids, only for coloring pages, for example, or create some children's stuff. So, but yeah, it's. I think. a lot of potential in this medium, and
Hmm.
we need to open this. And I hope that this colored pencils course helps people to look at pencils from other sides.
Yeah, I think that's true because I think when we first started talking about making this class, and we had several artists who we really love, including you and Swasky. I don't know if you got a chance to meet Swasky during the shoot, but his work is really fantastic. And Andrea Joseph, who is somebody who's taught with us before, and of course
I know them
Kosha.
only, yes, I know, I don't know them in personal, but we are going to meet in Amsterdam in
Oh, good.
the end of July. Yes, because it will be Urban Sketcher Symposium.
Hmm.
Yes, so and we're gonna meet.
And
Uh,
I'll be there too.
oh, nice. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm coming to Amsterdam for the not really for the symposium, but at the time, we're going to have a big party for Sketchbook School, which will be nice, and hopefully you'll be able to be there.
I hope. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, so when we started to put this class together, we did think about, are people going to say, really colored pencils? Do I really need to learn that? It's like, what is there to learn exactly? But I think when you see this class, I mean, there's so much that surprised me, and I thought
Yes,
I knew
the
quite a lot about
same.
it. Yeah. But it's like, wow, there's so many different ways to think about this, and stuff that you might not figure out on your own, you might not realize it. But as a medium for the sketchbook, it's really, really powerful, expressive,
Yeah,
and fun.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
when I saw the program of this course, I realized that wow, I didn't know so much about
right.
colored pencils. So yes, I know only the part of this medium. So and yeah, it's really good that there are a lot of people and they show this medium from different side. So yeah, it's really good.
One of the things I also like about it is that we have different artists showing us how they do the same thing, right? Because you guys, um, you know, some of you I think did portraits of Kosha, you did still lifes.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, so,
yes.
so it's like we got to see how different artists draw the same thing. I think that's pretty cool. It's always interesting to see that that's different topics. I really like that fur that you have. It's really nice, and it's like it mainly looks like it's blue, but then the color that's underneath it is really
Yes, and
quite
also
nice
I add just for volume, for texture. So,
to make it
and
three
also
dimensional.
you can add some shadows under the dog, not to press too much on the pencil, but yeah, like
It's
this,
really
for
nice.
example. And that's it. And also I want to draw a bow.
So this is why I don't love that when you dip. I dipped my pencils, as you saw, in the water, and now it's like made the paper kind of lumpy, which I think that there are techniques for doing this that are, mine was very crude. Hey, let me just go and it's a watercolor pencil. Let me just
Wow,
go and dip it in the water. But obviously, I've got
that's
I
great.
need a class. One of the things for those of you who are thinking about whether or not you should sign up for this class, wondering whether this is the time to do it, one of the things I was talking about on social media in the last couple of days was how much fun it is when you sign up for one of these classes when they first happen, and everybody is there. Everybody is doing and learning the same thing at the same time, and you're working with all these other artists. One of the things as artists we
Yeah,
don't get to do that much. You get to do it in school, to work with a bunch of other people. But when you're doing it, as a grown up and even online, it's just such a different experience, and you learn so much when you see different people solving the same problem on the same day, you know, and
yeah.
that's a really nice experience. Now, did you go to art school in Siberia?
No, my education, I'm a journalist.
Oh, you are.
That's my first education. And then I realized that I don't want to be a journalist anymore. And I started to draw. And I just visited some courses and workshops. So I don't have, a classic academic education. So just some workshops and courses. That's my education. And a lot of drawing. A lot.
That is the best education, is a lot of drawing.
Yes, yes, I agree. Yeah, you should draw a lot if you want to improve your skills in something.
It's true. I mean, I didn't go to art school either, and nor did Kosha. So, and a lot of art teachers are like that. The people who a lot of people go to art school and they stop loving making art. So,
Yes, I heard it also.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry. Yes, because I think they get a lot of, prohibited things that you shouldn't draw like this. You shouldn't draw like this. You shouldn't use this tool with this tool. You shouldn't make mixed media stuff. Or and they, I think they started to scare of drawing.
Hmm.
Started to be afraid of creating something, to experiment with tools, with mediums. So maybe that's the reason they don't want to draw after art education. But I think that people without art education, they sometimes more brave and more they like experiment more than. So I think yes, a lot
And
of.
is that how you learn? Like, for instance, color pencil. Did you learn that mainly just by experimenting and trying things out?
Yes, yes. First, I started to draw watercolor, mixing watercolor and colored pencils, and then I realized that a colored pencil looks much more better without watercolor.
Hmm.
So, and then I started to learn more about color pencils. I bought a lot of different brands, experimenting, choosing what I like more. So, and now I have some favorites and some not favorite pencils. So, yes, a big collection of them. But still, I have to try more and more, and I want to try.
So somebody asked me if I'm drawing from a photo. I'm not. I'm drawing. This is like a made-up dog. I feel like I've been drawing dogs for so long that I have. My dogs always have. They seem a little bit like a person. You know, like it's a person wearing a dog suit. Maybe it's the eyes that make it that way. But your dog, I like that kind of the way his nose is. It almost looks like, yeah, it looks
But
like
it,
a.
it looks like dog anyway. So even with this nose,
I know. No, I think it's the fur, the ears. See, mine looks kind of more like a person in a weird way. But that's always been
like
the
a
way,
portrait,
like a
like
portrait
a
of a, yeah.
Rembrandt. Yeah, yeah,
Well, I don't know about that, but
Rembrandt portrait.
maybe it's Rembrandt's dog. You never knew if he had a dog. I like to think that he was a dog person. Um, so can not that many famous people or artists do paint their or draw their dogs, but I remember David Hockney, who was my favorite artist, and
Hmm.
he did a whole book of paintings of his dachshunds. He had
Wow.
two red dachshunds, and he did a whole, and Picasso also had a dachshund too.
Yes, yes,
So yeah. Um,
yeah. It's
so somebody asked me, how do I decide which colors go where? And that is a very good question. I think what I'm doing is I'm kind of building up layers. So I keep layering them, and if it looks flat, I just go back in and add another layer, and I'm sort of grabbing
yes.
different colors. And generally, I feel like okay, the yellow is probably where the lighter stuff is, but also if you add yellow into a dark area, it makes it brighter. But how are you deciding how you're using your colors?
I'm trying to start with the light
Hmm.
colors, for example, from the red one, and then I add a dark one. But sometimes I use also light color on the dark to make it more smooth, not so dark, and to add some interesting
Like
shades.
contrast too.
Yes, contrast also.
Right.
So here, yeah, the yeah, that's why I mixing these colors.
Right. Um, let me just see what else. What else are people asking?
Any questions?
Well, Gail is saying that she's amazed at what you can do with colored pencils. Well, that's true. It is pretty amazing. I think I think it's time for us to make colored pencils become like a fine art medium again, to make, to bring it back as an art form. I think It's pretty fun. It is fun to do, as you said, to layer colored pencil over watercolor because that makes it bright. And that's one of the things that we talk about in the course is how you can
Yes, yeah.
combine different media. What are some of the other media that you like to combine with colored pencils?
Um, I really like gouache, and I also use this medium with colored pencils. So I put gouache first, and then I add some details with colored pencils. And also, recently I opened a new medium for myself. It's oil pastel.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's oil crayons. They're really soft, and you also can add colored pencils on the top of this medium, so it's really cool. Yes.
So,
Uh,
so do you have to like put fixative or something like that on the pastels before you can add colored pencil, or can you just draw right on
no,
top of them?
no, no.
That's
You
fine.
just on the top, yes, and then in the when you finished your work, so you can add some fixative on the top, but you don't have during drawings. Yes. So it's really good medium. So you can combine it with everything, except maybe oil paint. Yes.
Ah,
Also markers. Yes.
markers, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So Anthony says, as I'm drawing my dog, become apparent that I was wise to sign up for this course. Well, I hope that that turns out to be true. And I imagine that your drawing is not in as in need of help as you say, but who knows? Um, so Eliza says, I often feel that I'm going past done too quickly. Is that a feature of colored pencil? So I guess you mean that you work it, then you go, okay, that's I'm finished, and there's no room to continue working. Is that what you mean, Eliza? Do you find that? I mean, do you find that, Katja, that there's a point where you go, oh, I've done too much, or or is there always more that you could do? Like, how do you decide when to stop?
um, it's really hard questions, because you always want to improve your work. You always want to add some details, to add some shadows, some hatches more and more. But uh, sometimes I ask my friends to stop me
Stop,
if I draw in
yes.
the, yes in if I draw in the company, for example. But when you feel that you don't want to add anymore, and you add just some details just for nothing, you or sometimes you should just close the picture, just go away, drink some tea maybe, or read a book, or just make a talk with somebody, and then you should come back after a little break, and then you'll see if you should add something in your picture or not.
So do you think we've reached that place? Do you think we've reached that stage with these two drawings?
I think I finished. Yes, I just
Finished.
add
Okay.
some pattern to the background, and yes, I think I'm done. Yeah,
So I see
that's.
one person says here, Dana says, I have some kids' colored pencils in my desk that I'm using, and it's not turning out that well. What do you think about that? Do you think that that the quality of your colored pencils, like if you're using professional ones, that makes a big difference to you, to what the final thing looks like? Like, in other words, could you do a good drawing with bad pencils?
Uh, I also tried children colored pencils, and I also had have them in my collection. And I realized that it's better to use a professional line, because with children pencils, you will never realize the potential of this medium, because I think that children pencils, they don't have enough pigment inside.
Right,
They don't make your work really bright and
right.
vivid.
And the
So
colors, yeah, the colors don't blend and mix, and they're harder.
yes,
It's not. It's
harder, yes, also, and I
harder.
think it you can disappoint and
Right. Yeah.
yeah, disappoint.
So why do we give children disappointing pencils and we save the good ones for the adults? It's not fair.
I don't know.
One of the things that's going to be exciting about this class is we have the Derwent, who actually makes these pencils by chance. This is not product placement, but Derwent is sending an expert to come and talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
They're the people who actually make pencils and who understand exactly what goes into making them, and also can explain how to use them best because of the properties. So we're lucky that if you take this class, you'll get to have a live discussion with people from Derwent, scientists, artists, and so forth, who will really
Yes.
explain it. That's a cool thing. We've never been able to do that before, but to have like a real expert, that will be. I'm sure you'll be interested in that too.
Yes, I think also because, um, it's really helpful to give people all this information and they don't have to spend time for exploring and discovery and to make
Right.
mistakes. That you
Right.
have a really, you give a really concentrate information and it's amazing. And I'm
Yeah.
also going to look through some lessons, and I'm sure that I'm find something for myself.
Yeah, I think that's it's absolutely true. I mean, we're learning from each other's experience, and that's really valuable. That's one of the nice things about sharing in a community is you can learn, and from people like you who've done so much, it'll be really cool. So, and also you're going to be coming to join us for a webinar in
Yes.
one of the weeks of the class. You're going to be there to answer questions, as is Swaski, as is Andrea, as is of course Kosha, and you're going to get to, if you have any questions that have come up that you haven't had answered here, you will get to do
Okay.
that. So that will be pretty cool. So, all right, good. Well, if you are thinking about taking this class, you know what? I'm going to put up a little thing that will explain what you do. To do that, you go to sketchbookskool.com and let's just add that. When you go to sketchbookskool.com, you'll see in clearly where to go to sign up. It's right on the very first page, and it'll be pretty cool. Now, all right, so I think I'm going to wrap it up because my hand is starting to make the side of this all dirty, and I feel like I could spend the rest of my life coloring this dog, but I'm going to stop. Oh, wait, you're going to you're adding a bubble. That's cool. Let's see what it is. It's going to say. That's so cute.
Yes, I think I should stop because I can add some extra details that, yeah, can
Excellent.
spoil
All right.
this.
All right. So
Yeah, okay.
turn your camera around. Let's chat again.
Okay, just a second.
And
Yes.
that was really fun. Here's
Yeah,
my guy.
I'm
Oh,
here
whoops.
again.
All right, good. Hold up your dog. Let's just see him fill the camera with him
Yeah,
all
just a
together.
second.
We'll put our dog
That's my
side by
dog.
side.
It's quite, I don't know if you see
It's
it
hard to see it
or
with a
not.
light. Can you bring? Oh, there he is.
Uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's great.
like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, beautiful.
that's
Really
great. Yeah,
nice.
that's my dog. Yeah, it's a
That's so
mixing
good.
of my dogs. Of
That's so
my
great.
dogs.
Maybe if you can send me, can you take a picture of that and send it to me, and then I can share that with people who want to see that drawing up close, not in the middle of the Siberian night.
Okay, I'll make a picture also. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah, it
excellent.
was
Good.
really fun.
So Stacy says, is that how you do it? Dip the pencils in water. I always went back with a water brush. Yes. What I'm doing, the way I did it, which is like this, is probably not what the people of Derwent would say is a good idea. I'm sure they have because you can also go put your pencil down on the paper and then go over it with a water brush or something like that after you put it down, right? I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to wet the pencil itself. And in fact, when you wet the pencil, it gets very wet, and that can be a bit of a mess. So, right, how would you do it? Would you use a paintbrush on top of the colored pencil if you did it?
Uh, yes, I did it. I use yes, I use water brush, and also you can uh, add some water on the paper, and then you can draw
Oh,
with pencils
so
on the wet paper
wet
also.
paper.
Yes, and also
Yes,
it's another technique. Yes.
right. And also, you talked about media. I think that's another thing that we're going to do in the class is we're going to take um, solvents and things like that you can add that really break down the colored pencil into almost a liquid, and that you can then do blending. Also, blending sticks. There's a whole art to using something called blending sticks, which you may not know about. So there's just, I mean, this class is 4 weeks long. I think it could have been a lot longer because there's just so many different things to
Yes, I
learn.
agree.
So
Yeah.
so many different things, different exercises, and it's going to be really cool to see what people do in this class and sharing it. And of course, if you join the class, you get to be part of the schoolyard. The schoolyard is our social community platform where you get to hang out with other people, share your art, talk about all kinds of stuff. We've had so many interesting conversations around all kinds of matters in the schoolyard, but a lot of people have been talking about colored pencils now, and everybody's going and like finding their old bags and boxes of colored pencils that they stuffed in the closet and pulling them out. Oh yeah, that's right. I have dozens. A lot of people will also, I don't know if you've had this experience, but probably not because you're a professional, but you have like, you go and you dig up this tin of colored pencils and then you go, ooh, they're too nice, they're too good, I better not use those, save those for later. So if you've been saving
No,
them,
no.
now you know why you were saving them. You were saving them so you could use them all
You
up in
should
this
use
class.
everything you have.
Exactly. And the best thing about using that up is you get to go and buy more. So, right, so that's the excuse you need.
Yes, I always buy more and more,
Everybody loves
even
to
if
buy
I
art
don't.
supplies. It's nice to know that the professionals also love to go and buy art supplies. So excellent.
Yes.
Thistle asks, is a blending stick the same as a stomp that's used for graphite? I'd like to tell you, Thistle, but this is a professional class that you need to study with the teachers, and they will explain exactly what it is. And I don't think they'll be using the word stomp, but who knows? We'll find out. I don't know. I don't know. So Lucy says, I've never learned how to use colored pencils, maybe because they were handed to you as a kid, so that makes me think I already know how to use them. You just proved me wrong. Wow. Okay. Well, that's exciting, and I hope you aren't offended at the fact that we proved you wrong. But there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn about what brands to use, what the differences is between them, what the differences of varieties within a particular manufacturer. Paper is a whole other thing too. Like what kind of paper, what kind of effects do you get from paper? Sharpening, right? There's a whole thing about how you
Yes.
sharpen colored pencils. So there's an awful lot to learn, and you will learn it starting Monday. This class starts. You have 3 days left, 4 days left to sign up
God.
for it. So Monday, the first video starts showing up. You'll get to see what this is all like. So, Katja, thanks so much for joining me from Siberia. It's very late there now. You should.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Yes, thank you. And I
Yes.
look forward to seeing you in class and then at the
Yeah.
webinar and then in
Yes.
Amsterdam. So that will be really
Yes.
fun. So if anybody wants to join Katja in the class, please do. If you want to join her on the webinar, we'll be having it on YouTube. And if you want to join us in Amsterdam, buy a ticket and we'll see you there. We'll be
Yeah.
at the Sketchbook School
You can
studio
ask
in
any
Waterloo.
questions, yes,
Exactly.
about colored
It's all there.
pencils.
Exactly. Great. Thanks so much, guys, and we will see you. I'll see you next week when we'll be drawing with each other again. I'm not sure what we'll be drawing, but I'll let you know in advance. So if you subscribe to our channel, then you'll get alerts that will let you know, hey, it's time for another one of those things with that weird guy who talks a lot and draws a little bit. But if not, you can just check back here next Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time or at 11 o'clock Siberian time, if that's what you prefer. Okay. All right. Thanks very much. We'll see you then. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. See you.